And we are live. Welcome to the show. Let me know if the audio is okay. I just muted myself then by mistake. Let me just double check on the settings to make sure the audio is coming through all right. It should be. Looks like it's all right. Okay. So let me know if that's okay. Welcome to this somewhat impromptu live stream, although this one's been in the works for a little while. A little bit of a solo one. I have been doing some stuff with Jack Napier recently. You'll have noticed we've been doing some shows together. I'm going to be recording some stuff with James Tusk again tomorrow, which is going to be good. So you're going to see some of that. And I've done some pretty crazy videos with my friend Paul as well. The first one of which I released a week or well, no, it's a few days ago actually on the channel. So have a look at that if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it got pretty funny, I think, and we got into some pretty deep stuff. Anyway, this is just basically, well, partly it's a purely promotional video because I do have a boot camp coming up in London very soon at the end of this month. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But even more importantly than that, if you have questions about dating, your dating life, things that are not going well in your dating life, things that are going badly, you're not getting the kind of results that you want, women are ghosting you, you're getting ignored, all of this kind of bullshit that we all have to go through, or many of us seem to have to go through, then put your comments into the chat and we'll get to them. Because, like, at the end of the day, listen, you know, it's what? I'm in London. It's 9:30 at night. I'm sitting here with my dick in my hand and I'm basically on here to help you guys. Okay, I'm basically here to help you guys because contrary to what popular belief or contrary to what people popularly think, you know, dating coaches, we are human beings. And yes, obviously we're doing this as a job. Yes, it's a business, but also we want to help you to succeed. Okay. And one of the unfortunate things that I notice in having done this job for quite a long time now and having taught guys, many different countries all over the world, is that there are a lot of very good guys out there who are simply just not getting the results that they could be getting, the results that they deserve, okay, out there in the dating marketplace. And there are various reasons for that, but one of the reasons is that they're just making very, very simple elementary mistakes that they don't frankly need to be making, okay? And we can help to correct that. So if you've got any issues at the moment, if a girl's giving you the runaround, if you're, you know, you texted her and she hasn't texted you back, you don't know what to do, or if you've got a crush on your coworker, or you like this girl in the gym, or the girl who works in Wendy's, or, you know, whatever it is, put it into the chat and we can address it. And if there's any haters out there as well, because I know that I get plenty of haters over on X, and this is going out on X as well as YouTube, feel free to come in and have a bit of a body if you want. I can even send you the link. We can even have it out on screen if you want. That's how happy I am today to try to be of assistance to you guys. So what's been happening? Well, a few different things. I went to see Robbie Williams play in Hyde Park on Saturday, which was actually a lot of fun. Now, Robbie is or was a huge pop star in the UK, certainly throughout the 90s and a lot of the 2000s. And he's still very famous. He never quite broke through in America in the way that he could have done. But he was, for a long time, one of the biggest pop stars in the United Kingdom. Now, he's always had a bit of a credibility issue. In the sense that he was never taken as seriously as some of his idols, people like Oasis or the Pet Shop Boys or New Order or Depeche Mode or any of the indie bands that he probably liked at that point. But fantastic performer, fantastic stage presence, and a fuckload of riz, okay? Absolute ton of riz. If you watch interviews with him back in the early 2000s or in the 90s, this sort of combination of this bravado plus this vulnerability plus this ability to emote, and he was clearly somebody who was very troubled. He had his drug problems, very, very famously documented. He was stints in rehab, you know, trouble with cocaine, with drink, and all the rest of it. He relapsed, I think, a few years later, according to the recent Netflix documentary. I mean, he's been through the ringer, okay, and he's come out the other side, but fundamentally still one of, I would say, the greatest frontmen that Britain has produced in my generation. And I mean, I don't want to make this a fucking music lecture, but I would also put Dave Gahan of Depeche Mode up there as well. But they're a very different sort of proposition. Okay, Robbie is fundamentally a pop star. Dave Gahan is an electronic musician versus stroke rock star. Okay, so they're kind of from different worlds. But the ability to stand on stage and have a bunch of people, 60,000 people or whatever it is, fucking love you and just walk, would watch you walk on water if they could, is an incredible thing. And it was an incredible thing to see. And great songs, great production. I went with my girl. We just had a fucking blast. It was a really, really good time. And then it took us about 900 hours to get out of Hyde Park because after those events, I don't know, maybe some people here live in London, maybe you don't, but the transport is shit. It takes ages to get anywhere, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this is probably of no interest to anybody, but I just wanted to do a little bit of a catch up to let you know what I've been up to. So I suppose the most salient thing that I wanted to tell you about is that I am going to be running an in-person 3-day boot camp in London, okay, at the end of July. All right. It's going to last for 3 days. So it's going to be Friday evening, Saturday, and then Sunday. It's going to be quite intensive, but it's also not going to be, I mean, the normal format that we tend to do when I do stuff with James Tusk and so on, we tend to do the 4-dayers, sometimes even longer. Often they will be in fairly remote locations like places in Latin America and so on and so forth. If you're in Europe, London's very well connected, so it's quite easy to get here. It's a very accessible city, despite what some of you Americans out there think. It's a very safe city. We're not getting stabbed 24/7 as people believe. It's really not like that. Very, very safe, very cultural place. If you haven't been, it's definitely somewhere that should be on your bucket list. And look, without sugarcoating it, there are a lot of extremely attractive women here. Now, I'm not going to claim that it's like going to Russia or to Ukraine or something like that. How can I put it? The beauty is somewhat diffuse, if you like. It's spread out because we have a big population here. We've got like 10 million people. Okay, so you're going to see a variety of different types. You're going to see some average people. You're going to see some very hot people, etc., etc. But the truth is, I think we may have been overtaken now, but there was a time when there were more billionaires living here than anywhere else in the world. There's a lot of money here. There's a lot of wealth here. There's a lot of status here. And of course, all of those things attract great beauty. And so therefore, London remains one of the greatest cities for attracting, not only high rollers, but also very attractive women. And on top of that, it's an extremely, extremely walkable city. Okay. So one of the issues that I always have is that I'll go to America. Like I went to America a few times last year to teach events, to teach boot camps. And, as you guys will know, the problem with America, as great as it is that a lot of your cities, they're just not very walkable, right? So Miami's okay. The Brickell area in Miami is okay. South Beach is all right. The nightlife in Miami is very good. So that's cool. That's a nice tick. New York is my favorite place to teach this stuff. But New York is very similar to London, really. I mean, the vibe is actually very, very similar to London. Okay. Vegas, a lot of people teach boot camps in Vegas. I'm not the hugest fan of Vegas, to be honest. I nothing against the place. It's fine. Happy to go for a few days. It's fun, whatever. But I don't think that the standards of beauty there are necessarily what people claim. And it's very touristy. And it's very touristy in what I would describe as I don't want to sound snobbish here, but it's a relatively trashy sort of a way. That's not to say, obviously, there are some very expensive hotels there. There's some very bougie places. Fine, whatever. But in the main, it's not my favorite place. I would say in America, New York for me personally, because of the, again, very diverse population. You've got people from all over the world who are working there and studying there and stuff. I think New York is great. And in Europe, the nearest thing really that you've got is London. Okay. And London is also, as I say, extremely accessible. It's very easy to get here. We've got 4 airports, I think maybe even 5 airports serving London, Heathrow and Gatwick being the main ones. Very, very easy to get in and out. Flights not necessarily so expensive. Accommodation, not so expensive if you look in the right areas, and I can certainly help you with that. And, as I say, 10 million people, so you go out and the streets are awash with individuals, with lots of beautiful women walking around, people just getting on with their daily business and so on and so forth. And also still a great nightlife scene here. Now, we've tended to talk London down a little bit over the past few years, and not entirely unfairly. Okay. I mean, there are pros and cons to anywhere. And I mean, yes, if you go to a crazy club in Latin America, is that going to be better than, a rainy night in London? Probably yes. But there's still a really, really good nightlife scene here as well. And so the way that we're doing this event is I've teamed up with some colleagues of mine. So it's myself who's teaching this, but also we've got some hand-picked trainers, okay, including a guy who I've known for a very long time, who's extremely experienced in the industry. He's worked with the likes of Kezia Noble. He's worked with the likes of Paul Janka and other, very, very well-regarded dating coaches. Okay, so he's going to be helping with the event. We're also going to be working with some other hand-picked trainers as well. And the basic breakdown is as follows. So firstly, I'll tell you what I can do. Actually, I can actually just share the screen for this, so you can have a look. I can try and do this now. I'm going to try and do this now so I can show you the web page and you can get an idea of what we are talking about. Okay, so this is the web page. You can visit this if you go to the web address for this is God bloody hell. I'll put it in the chat. It's basically londonbootcard.card, CAARD.co. Okay, but I'll put it in the chat anyway. But that's not important right now. Let's have a look at what it says. All right. So let me show you this. So 3-day intermittent advanced dating boot camp in London with Troy Francis. Okay. So that's probably the first thing to say. This is not really aimed at complete beginners. Okay. If you are a complete beginner and you've never approached a woman before, then that's okay. We can have a conversation. We can tailor this. We can figure something out. But really, the original intention of this was to try to create an event where we're catering for guys who have a bit of experience under their belt and maybe they're just sort of a little bit stuck in a rut. They're not kind of getting the results quite that they'd like to. They're just sort of, because they have busy careers, busy jobs, they don't have the time and they want a quick sort of fix, if you like, a quick kick up the butt to help them to level up their game. Okay. So ideally, to apply for this, you're going to be somebody who's, you've got a bit of experience of approaching, whether that's in the daytime or in the nighttime, or even, look, to be honest, if you've smashed it on Tinder and you've done a load of dates from dating apps, and you haven't done cold approach, but you're open to at least trying that, then that's okay as well. But ideally, we're looking for people with some sort of acumen here. But if you haven't, then reach out to me anyway, and we can have the conversation. Okay. All right, let's go a little bit further. I might take myself off, actually. Back in. So you can see there a beautiful picture of me in Las Vegas. And this really explains what we're talking about here. So this is 3 days of immersive one-on-one live training. Now, what that means is that it's not that there's just going to be one student, okay? We're going to have a small group of students, right? This is not going to be a huge, massive event with hundreds of people. That's not the way that we operate. It's not the way that I work with James. It's not the way that I work in a solo capacity. We want to make sure that people get the best possible value for this as they can. And what that means is, you need to have Ideally, you want to be solo, working one-on-one with a tutor, but, you know, at most, maybe 2 students working with 1 tutor, okay? So we're going to have myself, but obviously some other trainers as well. So imagine gaining the skills, experience, and confidence to excel with women for the rest of your life. Our bespoke course, crafted by Troy Francis, yours truly, is designed to meet your specific needs, preferences, and objectives, okay? So what are we going to be teaching? And by the way, as I said, please don't be shy. Questions in the chat. There's 48 of you in here already. So really, we want 48 likes on this video to push this up the algo. Put your questions in the chat. And look, as I said, even if you're not interested in this event, even if you don't want to come, you're not interested, whatever, that's fine. If you've got questions on dating anyway, still put them in the chat, because as I said, I'm primarily here to help you. So while I'm kind of advertising this event, at the same time, I do want to help. So let me know if there's anything that's on your mind at the moment. But anyway, moving forward. So what are we going to be doing? Well, cutting edge dating theory and actionable techniques. So the difference with this and the kind of boot camp that I tend to do with James Tusk is we're basically going to have some classes here. Okay. We're going to actually do some classroom activities, right? So we're going to have some seminars that are going to be taught by myself and by other members of the team. Okay. And we're going to teach you some theory. And I think that's one of the things that can sometimes be missing with modern boot camps, where it's basically a question of like, all right, hi guys, okay, everybody have a drink. Now let's hit the streets and see what happens. We don't want this to be like that. We want to talk about a little bit about the modern dating scene, the challenges, and the best ways to overcome those challenges, okay? So there is going to be a classroom aspect to this as well. Nothing heavy. We're not talking about going crazy, but there is going to be that aspect, and you'll be able to ask questions and get feedback on specific issues that you might have, all right? The next bit is exclusive one-on-one training. So as I said, regardless of how this breaks down, which is going to depend on numbers and so on, you are going to get one-on-one time with me and with our other coaches. And we're likely to be getting some female, or at least one female coach in as well, who you can practice with and get some proper actual female feedback, which of course is invaluable. Okay. So it might be that we take you out in a group of 2 and there's 1 trainer and there's 2 of you, and we go out into the streets and we go and do some approaching, but you're also going to be getting that one-on-one attention as well. And what that means is that we're going to be able to tailor this to your specific needs somewhat, because by the end of day 1, the Friday evening, we're going to get a sense of each one of you, what you need to work on, and then we're going to very much be focused on that for the rest of the weekend. All right. The next thing is 100% live in-field training. This is what it says on the tin. Okay, this is a normal boot camp setup, which is all about just getting out there and talking to women. So as you probably know, and it kind of stands to reason, it's pretty obvious, you can't learn to play golf without actually picking up a club and hitting a ball. It's just not possible. Okay, you can read about it, you can watch videos, you can listen to podcasts, whatever, but in the end you have to take action. Okay, and so this is what this part is about. This is, we're going to get you out there, and this is going to be daytime and nighttime, by the way. Okay, live infield training, and we're going to really get you immersed into talking to and interacting with women that you find attractive. We're really going to help push you out of your comfort zone. Now, I don't want people to be sort of terrified by that and think, oh my God, this sounds horrendous, because at the same time, we are sensitive to the fact that people find this difficult. Okay. So this isn't about doing something that's going to scar you for life. It is very much something that we are going to be very sensitive to your needs and to where you're at and to your requirements. But at the same time, look, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. Okay. And if you're watching this and you've been considering maybe working with me or some other coach for a while, the probability is that you need a little bit of a push. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be doing it in a calibrated way, and we're going to be giving you feedback every second of the way. Okay. Achieving immediate success. So look, I mean, really what we're doing here is we're going to be teaching you every aspect in 3 days, in less than 3 days. We're going to be teaching you every aspect of modern dating, including initiating conversations, understanding signals from the woman, securing dates, and excelling on dates. We're going to be teaching everything. There's an old expression the English used to use, from soup to nuts. So soup will be the first course, nuts would be the final, kind of thing that you'd have at the end after the dessert. So we're teaching everything from soup to nuts here, okay? And we are also taking you out and doing it practically with you, and we're with you every second of the way, okay? And really, this is all geared around helping you to build authentic confidence, because it's great to do an event like this. It's great to do a boot camp in South America or Ukraine or Poland or whatever, but there's no point in there's no point in doing it if you then just go back to your hometown and nothing changes. Okay, what we're seeking to do here with the combination of the actual training, the actual theory we're going to be passing on, plus the practical work we're going to be doing, is to build up your confidence to such a level that you are able to get out there and make this happen for yourself. Okay, leading to a seamless and permanent transformation. Now, look, this is big talk. Okay, however, we have seen with our own eyes courses like this change people's lives. Okay, I was teaching a course over in Bogota recently with James, and one of the students on the course, this is going to sound cringe, it's going to sound like, are you making this up, is this for real? I'm not going to name the guy because obviously that's private to him, but he literally said, I feel like I've died and been reborn having done this course with you guys. All right, I feel like I've died and been reborn having done this course. Okay, now again, it sounds incredibly dramatic, all right, and it kind of is, but when you think about it, like, what does he mean by that? Well, what he means is that you don't know what you don't know. Okay, and dating is this incredibly nuanced thing today, and it's only getting more difficult, as we know, because of the apps and because of the Instagram and the global dating marketplace and all of the stuff that we discuss in the manosphere the whole time. It's only getting more difficult. However, guys do have to take some responsibility. So we can blame women. We could talk about women's standards until the cows come home, and there's truth in that for sure. But a lot of guys are also presenting themselves in a manner which is, quite frankly, suboptimal. Okay, quite frankly, suboptimal. And if they just did some tweaks, if they just changed things up a little bit, then their results would improve. Okay, and again, this guy, he felt like he'd shed his skin and grown a new skin. Okay, by seeing what he saw through the training that we gave him. Now, the caveat to all of this is that you do need to do the work after you finish. I mean, as I said, you can't just do a course for 3 days and then go and all your problems are solved forever and that's it. This is like going to the gym, right? You need to go to the gym maybe every day or 5 times a week or 6 times a week. Okay, it's something that has to become part of you. However, the power of doing a person-to-person, a live event of this kind is such that it really can change fundamentally who you are as a person. And I'll be completely honest, telling my own, personal story about this stuff. I in order for me to become in any way successful with dating, I had to fundamentally change as a human being. And I really mean that. I really mean that. I had to completely change as a human being, because the way that I am now, if you met me when I was 18, 17, whatever, I was a completely different person. Certainly in terms of the way that I presented, certainly in terms of the way that I operated socially, certainly the way in which I interacted with both men and women. I was a completely different human being, okay? And I changed fundamentally, and that changed my life. All right. Now, I've discussed this before. It's not something I'm going to go into in great detail on this stream unless people want to talk about it. But it's sort of like basically what happened for me was I went to university in Manchester and I started to do a lot of partying. Okay. And I was drinking, I was doing different substances and things like that. Not to be recommended. But what it did do was it opened up my mind in a way that my mind had never been opened up before. Okay. So that affected a personality change in me, which was necessary in order for me to become a more social being, in order for me to come across as the cocky, funny kind of guy that women seem to be attracted to. Okay, before that, and it wasn't that I looked different. It wasn't that I suddenly developed like a six pack. It wasn't that I suddenly became jacked or had amazing clothes or a big car. Nothing changed, but my attitude changed. And very quickly, over a few months, I started to, get girlfriends and become successful. And really then the rest was history. And then I learned more about it. I started to study social dynamics. I became very interested in human psychology, and it kind of all went from there. But the point is, you need to undergo a transformation. Now, short of, and again, I don't recommend it, short of going to a clubbing city and getting lost in some kind of crazy world of hedonism, which I don't think anybody should do, because it brings a lot of very negative consequences. Short of doing that, a better way to do it, a healthier way to do it, and a more effective way to do it is to take on board the training that we are able to give. And remember that I've been working in this industry for over a decade now, okay? But I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years. I mean, even longer than that, really. Okay, I've been dating. I've had girlfriends. I've been out the scene, been back in the scene. But, my dating history has lasted for really since the 90s. Okay, so, and I've taught thousands of students all over the planet, right? And I've seen people of all different types achieve success. And I've had my own journey as well. Okay, I've had my own successes. I've had my own failures, right? And on top of that, I've worked with some of the most prominent trainers on the planet, including the likes of Tom Torero, James Tusk. Obviously, you guys know that I go on the Fresh and Fit show. I've met Mike Sartain. I've worked with, all of these different people. And I've observed them in action, okay? And I've been able to see what they do. And it has given me this profound understanding of human dynamics and how this stuff works and how this stuff should work, okay? Which I'm able to pass on to you very quickly, okay? And this is really what all of this is about. Because look, you guys, you're watching this, right? Some of you guys watching this, we've got like 50 people here now, whatever, maybe more. Some of you guys are probably pretty wealthy, right? Some of you guys, you probably pay like a tennis coach. Maybe you pay a gym instructor. Maybe you pay a business coach, okay? You might pay a mindfulness coach. I don't know, right? There's like all these different things. And yet you balk at the possibility of paying a dating coach in order to help you with this area, which arguably is the most important area of all in anybody's existence. Okay? Because let's be honest, our intimate relations with other human beings, with the opposite sex in this case, is the most important thing in many people's lives, because, it can lead on to having children, having a family, having a legacy, if that's what you want, and all of that. Okay, so this is supremely important, and most people not only neglect it, but they almost actively shun it, and it's just a very, very bad way of coming across, really, at this stuff. We've got a few comments here, probably slagging me off, so let's have a look and see what they say. Will you be coaching in the US anytime soon? Possibly, yes. Whereabouts are you based? Let me know where you're based. I do tend to no immediate plans for the US, but I would probably come to New York at some point, and I'll probably come to Miami at some point as well. So tell me where you're based, and if you want, you can email me as well, and we can have a private chat. In fact, I'm going to put my email address in the in the chat now. I'm using the Gmail address again at the moment because we had an issue on the website. So use this address, or you could DM me on Twitter or Instagram or something. So Troy Francis 7laws@gmail.com. So drop me an email. Okay, right. You're in LA. Okay, right. So I've taught in LA. Okay, I taught a guy last year in LA. I've taught a few people in LA. So that's definitely something that's doable. I think the issue, as you know, with LA is that well, everybody knows the issues with LA. It's quite spread out. It's not the most walkable city, but there are definitely areas that are doable. Santa Monica, right? Venice Beach. You've got West Hollywood. And the other thing is as well, I don't just teach daytime stuff. I teach nighttime stuff as well. So then you've got things like Edition in West Hollywood, or you've got some of these great bars and so on and so forth. And I've got some good connections there as well. So that's definitely something that we could make happen for sure. So if that is something that's of interest, or you just want to have a general chat, drop me an email and we could discuss. I definitely want to get back to LA. It's definitely on the list. So yeah, for sure, man, that's doable. But at the same time, sometimes people, they don't mind traveling in the States. I think Miami is a very good place to train for various reasons. A lot of very beautiful women there. It's a bit more walkable. A lot of very lovely Latinas there. Quite international. I think New York remains a great place to coach people as well, just because of the population and so on and so forth. So there's a number of possibilities there. But LA, yeah, absolutely on the list. All right, let's see what this guy says. Curious how changing attitude could bring such a positive change in the dating market. I see that as a superficial criterion. At some point, the problem becomes a motivation one. Over time, you become discouraged by the runarounds. Well, I mean, there's a couple. I don't know. There's a couple of things there, isn't there? So, to try and answer this as simply as possible, the attitude that I had about myself changed. Okay, so and very crudely, what happened was I went from basically thinking I was a bit of a piece of shit to thinking that I was fantastic. Okay. Now, whether that was objectively true or not, and a lot of people would say it isn't, and it certainly wasn't at the time, it doesn't matter. I don't know whether you guys are aware of the idea of irrational self-confidence. This is something that Royce of Chateau Artiste used to talk about a lot. Irrational self-confidence. Okay. It's better to be irrationally self-confident, even if objectively you can't back that up, than it is to be somebody who's self-effacing and self-disparaging. Okay. And I was always the latter. And partly because of the drink and the drugs, but also partly almost just as a thought experiment. I was just like, fuck it. Do you know what? I'm going to go out there. I think I'm awesome anyway. I always suffered from that slightly addictive sort of, huge ego, but low self-esteem thing. So I just kind of flipped it on its head. And I was just like, look, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to act like a rock star. And people may not like it, or maybe they will. I don't really care. What happened was I did get some pushback, but I also got actually a lot of interest from women and also respect from guys as well. I started to dress in a more flamboyant manner. I started to get a bit more ballsy in terms of what I was wearing, the way I was presenting myself. People bought into it, man. And so that's what I mean. That's how that change in attitude started to change my results. Okay. And it's a much bigger issue we don't really have time to go into in this stream, but fundamentally the things that people think matter, which is, have you got a six-pack? Have you got a Bugatti? Have you got, billions of dollars in the bank? Those things, while not unimportant, are not the most important thing. The most important thing is how you make the woman feel in the initial interaction or on the date. And the way that happens is how you feel about yourself. Okay. Because if you think you're fucking awesome and you go in with that energy, she's going to also feel that. And her response to you is going to be different than if you're sitting there kind of with your dick in your hands and you're being very self-deprecating. I'm being very crude here. I'm oversimplifying, but hopefully people know kind of what I mean. And then he says, at some point, the issue becomes motivation because over time you become discouraged by the runaround. True. And if again, being completely transparent, I think over time, because I'm not getting any younger now, I think over time, my libido did fall. And in many ways, as I've said many times on video, I don't personally think that's a bad thing, because my libido when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, was fucking nuts. I was just like, it was all over the place. Okay. And really, looking back, I wasted a lot of time just doing stupid shit and dating people that probably weren't right for me and getting into stupid situations that I just didn't need to be in and I shouldn't have been in, you know. And now, you know, my libido is still pretty high, right? And obviously, you know, I'm not going to get into talking about testosterone and stuff like that, but there are things you can do to further enhance that side of things. But fundamentally, it's just like motivation. You need to have a why. Okay, you need to think, okay, what is my why? What do I want here? And if in the end, you know, maybe you decide dating isn't for you, maybe you decide the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and that is your right as a human being. I'm not here to try to sell Mr. Unknown into the idea of, you know, you've got to go and date 100 women. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't want to. But I think the reality is that biologically most men do, or at least they want some sort of sexual experience, some kind of intimacy. And what I'm saying is, if you could develop a strong enough why, then you can make that happen. Okay. Los Angeles, decent girls in LA, especially in the summer. Absolutely, 100%. There were some good places there, man, as well. Some good venues as well. Texas is looking good. A lot of hot bodies there. Seems to be less slutty and jaded compared to LA. Well, I hear very good things about. I mean, obviously, everyone talks about Austin, don't they? Everyone talks about Austin, and sometimes people talk about Dallas as well. Although I'm told Dallas is a little bit. I'm told Dallas is quite hard, actually, but a lot of people say very good things about Austin. So, you know, I would be interested to check out one of those as well. But I think, you know, LA, I mean, the great thing about LA is, again, you are attracting, just by the nature of the place, some of the world's most beautiful women because they all want to go there and make it and become a star and everything else. And so there are definitely opportunities there for sure. It's the issue that you have there, I think, is logistical as much as anything because it's so big, it's so spread out, and etc. But it's definitely possible to make things happen there because I've taught people there and I've seen it happen. Okay. Right. So what's this guy called? Sutat says girls just want to have fun, always, no exceptions. You have to be their emotion spiker. Absolutely. I've made various videos about this just recently, just this week, but he's absolutely right. It all comes down to fun. So yes, wearing an Armani suit, great. Yes, being the CEO of an amazing company, great. You know, having a Lambo, even great. Probably having a Lambo is going to make her think this guy's going to be fun. But the truth is, if you're a bit of a boring fuck, and even if you've got a lot of the checklist stuff on point, she's, you know, she might entertain you for a bit, but she's going to get bored because it really does come down to emotion. And the guy that can spike her emotions is really the guy who's going to, sorry, just checking something here, is really the guy who's going to win the day. Now, the issue that you've got, okay, in the modern world is that there are guys who've got everything, okay? So the average Joe probably hasn't got any of this stuff. So he's fucked, or at least he's not fucked. He can come on my course and I can help him, but he's got some work to do. But there are guys who have a lot of this stuff, okay? There are guys who are rich, who are good looking, who have a cool, interesting lifestyle, who maybe have a nice car and a bit of money, and they've got Riz as well, all right? And that is it's not even a triple threat. It's like a quadruple threat, okay? And those are the really top guys that you're competing against. Now, none of us are ever going to become, I mean, look, there's always going to be somebody better than you, okay? I was listening to a podcast a while back about Leonardo DiCaprio, and the guy was saying, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio walks into the party in the south of France, and it's like a vacuum, just all the girls suddenly sucked out of the room, and that, you know, they will go over to Leo's table. So there's always going to be someone who's better than you, but we need to be aspiring to improving in all of these different areas, okay? Because it's not enough anymore just to have some clever lines or some clever like little things to say, some gambits or whatever. You need to have the rest of it dialed in as much as you possibly can, particularly in some of these competitive places like LA and so on and so forth. So looking back at this, which is the training we're going to be doing on the last weekend of July, it's about permanent transformation. Okay. There's a nice picture of a lady's back there. What do we want for you? Well, we want you to start seeing real results immediately. Okay. So, of course, any boot camp that we run, any event that I run, we would like you to get a date. We would like you to, meet a woman that you like and hopefully be intimate with her. Okay. That would be great. We can't promise that, right? This isn't some money back guarantee thing because there's a lot of other factors involved, but we will certainly bend over backwards to help you to achieve that. And that includes helping you with the texting, helping you with logistics, helping you choose date venues, telling you what to text her, how to respond, etc., etc. Like really facilitating that process, almost in a done for you kind of a way, okay, and making it as easy for you as possible to pull. Boosting your confidence, we've talked about being your authentic self. And this is important, okay, because a lot of people are critical of the game space because they think that it's about manipulation and they think it's about pretending to be someone that you're not. And it really isn't, or it shouldn't be anyway. I don't think it should be, right? I think I wrote a tweet recently and I said something like, just be yourself is simultaneously one of the best and one of the worst pieces of dating advice that's ever been devised. And I think that's true. Okay. Because on the surface, just be yourself. You're the archetypal, you're sitting in your bum's basement, you're playing fucking Minecraft, whatever, you're overweight. Just being yourself in that context is not really going to fly. But in the end, you also don't want to pretend to be someone else. Okay. There's no point in pretending to be Andrew Tate if you're not that guy. Okay. You've got, and we talk in our Edge course, which is something else I'm not going to bang on about now because it's a separate thing, but we talk about building your own archetype. Okay. And being that archetype. And that's going to be different for different people. So I have my own style. Okay. I have a way that I dress. I have a way that I present myself. And that's based on a lot of things. It's based on my culture. It's based on my upbringing. It's based on my aesthetic tastes. It's based on the way I look, lots and lots of different things. Okay. But it's not going to work for everybody. Right. So and this is what we help you with when we do a course like this. We firstly determine, okay, what should you be aiming at? What would your ideal archetype look like? And then we help you to get there. Okay. So it really is about authenticity. And also as well, let's be honest. I mean, you don't really want to meet a woman who doesn't really want to be there or who's only there because she thinks you're someone else. That's just not what anybody wants. Right. Okay. Eliminate friend zones. So I want to help you get out of that horrible, I just see you as a friend kind of a thing. Ditch the apps. Now, I am, I would say app agnostic, really. I don't have a huge problem with dating apps per se. It's the modern world. It is what it is. Most people meet on them these days. That's just a reality. I personally don't use them. I mean, I have a girlfriend anyway now, so I'm not, obviously I'm not using them, but I wasn't using them before anyway because I like to meet people in real life. But I have used them in the past, and I have used them sometimes when I've been traveling, maybe to sort of see what's around in the local area or whatever. Fine. Okay, no problem. I don't think it's a good strategy for it to be your main outlet, to be honest, because you're going to get more bang for your buck when you learn to socialize in person. And that's exactly what this bootcamp, this course, which is taking place at the end of this month. Let me repeat the dates to you. Okay, so you know them. Let me just repeat the dates to you. It is the 26th to the 28th of July. Okay, Friday night to the Sunday. Only 3 days to change your life for good. Okay. The purpose of this is really to make you less reliant on the apps, because everybody is on the app. Everybody and his uncle's on the app. And let's face it, a lot of guys are not doing very well on them. So, if you're on the apps and you're not doing very well, something has to change. Okay. It's as simple as that. And I would say get off them, or at least minimize them. Seize opportunities. All right. So you see the beautiful girl in the bar, you don't have the balls to approach. If you'd have had the balls to approach, your life could have changed in that moment. Okay, you could have met your future wife, right? If you'd have just picked up your balls, gone over and had a conversation with that woman. You didn't. Why didn't you? Because either you were too scared to, you didn't know what to say, you're afraid of rejection, or you didn't know what the process would be. We eliminate that, okay? No more regretting, no more going home on the subway thinking, oh shit, if only I'd have just spoken to that woman. I think she even smiled at me and I didn't even say anything. How can I have done that? Okay, no more of that. We completely eliminate that for you. And, avoiding disappointing rejections, So, look, I'm not going to cap here. Rejection is part of the game. So you're never going to totally eliminate rejection. But the whole thing of, well, it was nice meeting you, but I'm not really feeling the chemistry. We're going to reduce that for you significantly, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to encourage you to be more authentic, okay? And so women are going to know what's up, right? And so it's not going to be this sort of, and we're going to encourage you to be more sexual, okay? Not in a crude way, not in a sleazy way, but we're going to encourage you to be more just authentic to your truth, okay, on the date. So she understands where you're coming from. Now she may choose that, that she doesn't want to go in that direction with you, and that's absolutely fine, okay? That's her prerogative. But you're going to get less of this kind of horrible, I see you more as a friend kind of a thing, because the reason that happens is there was a lack of clarity in the first place, okay? She didn't really know why she was there. She maybe didn't even know it was a date, right? Okay, because you weren't polarizing enough in the first place. You weren't sexualizing enough in the first place, okay? So we're going to eliminate that for you as well. All right, let's just see what else we've got on here. The 3-day course, so we're going to custom tailor this depending on your needs, okay? Now, obviously, there's going to be a bunch of guys here. This isn't going to be an enormous thing. We're going to keep the numbers fairly low because basically we don't have the capacity for hundreds of people. And secondly, it's better to have relatively small groups for these things because we want to make sure everyone gets ample attention. But look, don't worry about your situation, okay? So it might be that you've just come out of a long-term relationship. It might be you've been focused on your career and you just want to get back into dating. It might be that you kind of settled for somebody and you've always wondered, what if you could choose the woman that you actually want to date? Or maybe, you haven't really had much experience at all. Maybe you haven't had any dating experience or significant relationship experience and you don't know where to start, okay? It doesn't matter. There's no judgment here. We don't mind where you're coming from, okay? Our job is to find out where you're coming from and then ensure that the 3 days you get the very, very most appropriate and relevant training and coaching for you, okay, to get to where you need to be. It also doesn't matter so much what your goals are, okay? Maybe you're fed up with online dating and you want to meet women naturally. That's great. Maybe you want to be a bit of a player. You want to enjoy the party and the nightclub lifestyle and you want to hook up with attractive women. That's fine. Okay. Potentially you're fed up with all of that and you're looking for a real connection and you want to meet the one. Great as well. Whatever your end game is here, we can help because the principles of attraction remain the same. People get this kind of confused. They think, if a dude's a player, then that's it. The process is very different to if he's trying to meet his future wife. It really isn't, because it's always going to be predicated on attraction. Okay. And so whatever your longer term goal, and to be honest, when you first meet the woman, you might not know what your longer term goal is because you've only just met. But if it is the case that you want to get married and you want to have kids, fine. But you're still going to have to initially create attraction with somebody in order to make that work, and in order to make that work in a way that's going to stick, okay? And she's going to have real desire for you and real respect for you, okay? So oddly, although people find this hard to understand, the processes that are used, whether you want to be some kind of crazy player who's on a yacht every weekend, or you want to be a family man, at the beginning are actually the same. It starts to get different. Obviously, the strategies then differ as you go further through the process. But at the beginning, it's about creating attraction, okay? And that is very much what we're teaching here. A couple more Comments, yes, Austin and maybe Dallas. Austin and Dallas. Is it a good place to meet tall blondes? Is Fort Lauderdale an option? I don't know about Fort Lauderdale really. I have actually been to Fort Lauderdale. I mean, why not just go to Miami, man? To be honest, I mean, Fort Lauderdale seems okay, but I mean, it would. I don't know. It would seem to me Miami would be the place. And then Cybert says, not exactly sure. Okay, fine. What else do we have here? So this is our webpage for the course, which is taking place at the end of July, the final weekend of July. So this is led by me. You probably, if you're watching this, you probably know a bit about me already, but I've written over 11 books on dating and game. I've taught thousands of men dating skills all over the world. I'm smoking a cigar there and trying to look cool as well, which is great. I've been on substantial, I've got a substantial following on social media. I've been on things like Fresh and Fit, Pearl, Valuetainment Money with Adam Sosnick, and many more. So, you know, I went through a period of sort of, I wouldn't say sugarcoating it with guys, but I was certainly a lot more British and restrained and polite with guys back in the day. As you get longer in the tooth with this stuff and you get more experience, what you realize is that genuine love, and I mean that in the sense of love for the client, and really trying to help the client. What you guys actually need is honesty. Okay, what you guys actually need is brutal, raw. This is how it is. This is what you need to change. Now, I'm not talking about me being an arsehole or being some kind of Wes Watson, you know, yelling and all the rest of it. But you need to know where you stand, and you need to know what you need to change in order to get to where you want to be. Okay. So I'm going to be giving you my honest opinion and no nonsense advice. Okay. And we're going to be giving you the truth. We're going to be giving you the unvarnished truth about what women really want rather than what you may think they want, and how to actually achieve results in 2024 rather than not. Okay. So again, 3-day program, transform your dating life in just 3 days. These dates are incorrect because we've now changed them. But basically, it's Friday evening. It's the week after, by the way. So this is Friday as I say, Friday the 26th. So it's going to be Friday the 26th in the evening, 8 p.m. till 12 a.m. We're going to be doing a talk, and we're going to be doing a bit of a mixer. Then Saturday, it's going to be most of the day. We're going to be doing a talk. We're going to be doing some day game, and then we're going to be doing some stuff at night in a high class nightclub stroke bar location in London, which is going to be fantastic. Obviously, you're going to get a break there as well. And then Sunday again, it's going to be 1 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. And it's going to be a mixture of talks and a bit of day game, and then a final debriefing at the end. All right. Location primarily is going to be a boutique 5-star venue in Soho in London, which is right in central London, one of the best areas to be in the city. And some of the focus areas we're going to be talking about are connection, all right? Real connection with women, conversation, escalation, how to take things further, okay? Overcoming sexual shame and advancing your sexual comfort, all right? You know, because if you're ashamed of your sexuality as a guy, that's not going to play well, man, especially not in today's society. I mean, when you've got people like Cardi B all over the airwaves, right? You know, sexual confidence is very, very important. We're going to be doing practical sessions both outdoors and also in high-end locations like Soho House and so on. And we can also do some role-playing with female trainers for some hands-on practice and feedback, all right? So, you know, start becoming the man who makes an impact. Take the first step. Do this, okay? Reserve your spot for this 3-day program. There's a couple of weeks yet, all right? We've sold a few spaces. There are still some spaces left, okay? But there is still the opportunity to come onto this, all right? All you need to do, I mean, go to the website. So the website, why do I always get these things wrong? The website is, hang on, let me just get it for you. Bootcamp. Ask questions while I'm figuring this out, guys. Jesus Christ. It's been a long day. What can I say? It really has been a long day. I tell you what, and all the arguing and stuff on Twitter over the last couple of days, it just gets so dull. Do you know what I mean? Like, people just coming out with such ridiculous things. So, okay, right. So the website that you need, all right, is this, and obviously I'm going to put this in the description below. But have a look at this. Okay, so that is the website. That's the website that we've just gone through. Okay, so it's http://datingbootcamp.cod.co. Okay, so have a look at the information on that. What happens then is you can enter your email address and your phone number, and then you can download a PDF. All right, so you then download a PDF with further information, which I'm going to go through in a second, so you guys can see that as well. But basically, you can have your own copy, and you can think about this for yourself over the next few days. One Trick Pony said, I spent £1,500 on coaching for 5 hours of coaching. Okay, fine. Did it work? Was it good? Was it bad? You'll have to tell us a bit more. Great stuff. Troy, this is Mr. Silk. Good to see you, sir. Change your life, guys. Take action and take your first steps in London. We need to get Mr. Silk on again at some point. Sorry for my, it gets busy over here, man. What can I say? But I should be over in your neck of the woods pretty soon. So anyway, guys, go to this website, have a look. Any more questions on dating? Any dating issues you're suffering at the moment? Anything to do with cold approach or Tinder or anything like that? Put your questions in the chat because we've got some time still. So let's try. And if you've got anything that you're concerned about or is not working for you, let me know, and I'll see if we can. Help you in the next sort of next few minutes. Now, in the meantime, all right, he's saying, okay, no, it's a waste of money. Well, you should have come on my bootcamp, Hamied, because it's not going to be a waste of money because you can see the extreme levels of value that we're offering here. I don't know. The problem is, I don't know what you were taught. I don't know what the format was. I don't know what baseline you're coming at this from. I don't know where it was. I don't know the trainer or the experience or the caliber of the trainer. So there's so many unknowns here that it's really impossible for me to comment. But all I can say is that I've taught thousands of students all over the world. I've got glowing testimonials. I've got people who are willing to come on this channel and basically blow smoke up my ass because I'm so fucking good at this. I've written 11 books. I know what I'm fucking talking about, okay? And I can really help you guys. So I'm sorry that you had that experience, but not all events are created equal, put it like that. Why not take people to Poland instead of London? Well, we've done that a billion times, and we will probably also be doing that. But this is a special London event. All right, let's have a look. I want to show you this. So basically, when you go to the website, enter your email address, enter your phone number, and then you'll get access basically to a PDF which explains a little bit more. I'll go through this a bit more quickly because it's kind of similar stuff, a little bit more detail. But you get this PDF, okay, for free. And what's this about? Well, again, transform your dating life in 3 days. Weekend intensive course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with breaks. Beautiful picture of London here. Target audience, as I said, ideally, we're looking for people with a bit of experience in this stuff. But if you haven't, and you are a newbie, but you think this can help you, and it probably can, then let me know. Email me, troyfrancis7laws@gmail.com, and we can get into it. We can have a conversation because I'm sure that we can help you. As I say, ideally, this is for people who've got some experience, so they're not suffering from massive approach anxiety. But listen, we're here to help. So whatever your situation, get in touch if you're keen, and let's have a chat. And then there's a quote from me here. I'm just talking about how, some of the difficulties of the modern marketplace and how this can help. Program outline. We talked really about this. Basically, the way it's going to go, the Friday evening, we're going to be talking about conversation, connection, and flirtation. There's going to be a seminar that's going to last a few hours. There's going to be a Q&A. We're really going to be getting to the heart of the essential components of modern dating, what to say, how to keep her engaged, interested, how to create emotion, and so on. All right. This stuff is so fucking important and it doesn't get taught enough. Saturday, daytime, day game, and then night game. Okay, with break in between, obviously. We'll be doing some night game prep. Well, we'll be doing some exercises and so on. Then we're going to go to a high-end venue. You guys are going to have a fucking blast. It's going to be amazing. Some of the best nightlife in the world in London still. High-end bars, etc., etc. And then Sunday, we start a little bit later. We're going to be talking about inner game, more of the mindset stuff, the sexual shame stuff that we talked about before. We're going to have a day game session, and then we're going to have a debrief, and we're going to be talking about momentum and how to carry this forward. All right. I think we talked about some of the focus areas, but really just creating deeper, authentic connection with women, right? That's what we actually want, like, I think what most of us want, really, as much as people think it's all about just being a player and racking up the numbers. The truth is, most guys, I think, want something a bit more than that. Okay. How to be more confident, being sexual, finding and attracting a quality partner. Okay. For a fulfilling relationship. We're going to show you the potent sexual escalation techniques and the art of rapid seduction, which is really going to help you in this quest to find, as I said, whether you're looking for multiple partners or if you're just looking for that one special person, these things are really, really going to help you. Okay. Investment. All right. Should we talk about price? Should we talk about price? Are we ready for that? Are we ready for that conversation? Who's this guy here? $300 an hour for coaching sounds like cap. Well, I mean, again. Oh, okay. All right. He's asked a question. Have any advice for guys of how to get out of our head? It's probably a common problem for a lot of analytical guys. It's definitely a type of curse. He's right. It's a fucking massive problem. Okay. It's a massive problem for a lot of guys. And look, a lot of the guys who we teach, okay, people think, oh, it's going to be this bunch of like these incels or people who are extremely ugly or they're, I don't know, whatever, kind of stereotypical. It's usually not about that. Usually the guys are at least decent looking. Often they're in pretty good shape. Often they can be well dressed. They can be quite socially savvy in certain situations. But for some reason with women, there's this block and they get in their head. And it is, I'm not going to cap, I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. There's not a magic pill to get out of it. The one thing that helped me was repetition and persistence. Okay. And that comes through having a strong why. So if your why is strong enough, which might just be, I really want to get laid or I really want to get some experience under my belt. If that why is strong enough, then that can help you through. There are, however, other things that we can now give you. There are hypnosis tapes, okay, or recordings that we can give you to help you with this stuff. There are visualizations that we can give you to help you with this stuff. There are bespoke affirmations that we can craft for you to help you with this stuff. There are other exercises, journaling exercises that we can give you to assist you with this. So there are a lot of different mental tools that we're now bringing to the party. So is it an overnight thing that you could just immediately solve? No. Is it something that can be ameliorated and improved? 100% yes, absolutely. It's going to require a bit of work on your part. It's going to require a bit of faith and persistence, but is it doable? Yes, it is doable. Okay. And again, like anything in life, I mean, unfortunately, some people come at different baselines for this stuff. There are people who are just naturally very confident. They're very extroverted. They're like, whatever. It's not such a big problem for them. There are other people, and I was one of them. It was a fucking massive problem for. I couldn't hold eye contact with anybody until I was about 20. I mean, I was completely screwed socially, really, really badly. I changed very, very fundamentally. Now, I was quite young, so maybe I was lucky in a way, because I was able to, my brain perhaps hadn't fully formed by that age. So maybe, as an older guy, it becomes more challenging. But is it impossible? No. The brain is malleable. The brain is malleable until we die. We can always make positive changes. Okay, so we've got you covered. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy, but we do have the tools. We do have the techniques. We can help. What are What is the best game book not by Troy Francis? Maybe Book of Pook, which I've got somewhere here. Look up Book of Pook. That's really good. And also, I would recommend Chateau Artiste on Game, or Royce, I think his other name was. Look up him as well. Really, really good. Those are probably two of the better things, I would say. Very well, well written, very great understanding of the dynamics. I would also say The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Now, don't go in expecting to, it's going to be some kind of like fucking pickup manual, because it really isn't. But it does cover some very important fundamental points. Okay. So have a look at that. Sounds like brute force attack on overthinking and reprogramming your mind. Well, I mean, to some extent, I mean, look, what can I say, man? I mean, no, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Sometimes you do have to make big changes, and sometimes it comes from a decision. Okay, sometimes it's as simple as a decision of saying, I'm just not going to play this game anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do things differently. Okay. And actions, I mean, change often follows actions. So, in theory, what you could do is, instead of worrying about, oh, how am I going to do the reprogramming, you could just start acting in the way that the confident Chad who doesn't overthink things acts, and just worrying about the consequences afterwards. Now, I think that would be quite difficult, and I think some of these exercises are going to help you more, but it is possible, right? I mean, the way, as I've already described, that I changed my way of operating in this stuff was very sledgehammer, really, because chemically sledgehammer. I mean, it was drinking a lot and partying a lot, and I don't recommend that at all. But it sort of changed the neurochemistry of my brain, and it opened me up in a way that I hadn't been opened up before. And it changed my life, right? For better or for worse. Now, once again, we don't recommend that. So we offer much more healthy, much more sustainable, efficient, and nurturing ways of going about this, right? But yeah, sometimes you do need to, shake things up a little bit. 3-day boot camp for social skills, or focus on gym, fitness, look, style first. You need to be doing both, really. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, it's a bit of a cope. I mean, people are always, I mean, how long are you gonna how long are you gonna spend in the gym? I mean, like what, a year, 2 years, 3 years? When are you gonna be good enough? Do you know what I mean? Like it's guys, I think, use this as a little bit of an excuse, because you could get the perfect body, or whatever, as close to the perfect body, whatever that is, that you can achieve, and you could still suck with women. Okay. Looks, I would just do that along the way. A bit of looks maxing along the way, fine. Get a bit of Botox if you want. Get to, I don't know, whatever you need to do. Get your nostril hairs like trimmed. I mean, fine, but do that along the same way. Style doesn't need to take very long, to be honest. You could spend an afternoon. You could, I mean, I have a stylist in Warsaw I work with. I have a stylist in London I work with. I could put you in touch with one of those people. They could sort you out in less than a day, right? You can get a new outfit. So that doesn't take very long. So really, I would say 3 day. I mean, of course I'm biased, but really the bit that you need to get down is the Riz, okay? Because that's the bit that's going to make the difference, because there are plenty of decently dressed, in shape guys who've got quite good style, who are boring as fuck, and they're not getting any women. Okay. So while all of this stuff is important, in the end, as I said, it's emotion that's going to make the change. Okay. Troy's teeth looking white. Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, let's just have a quick look at some more of this stuff. So let's talk. Should we talk about price? Shall we go there? So basically, look, 3-day boot camp, you've got to be prepared to invest in yourself, right? You would invest in business coaching, you would invest in tennis coaching, you probably invest in a fucking personal trainer, right? This boot camp, 3 days, everything that I've described, the overall cost, and we're keeping this very reasonable, is £1,897. Okay, investing in your personal growth and your development, especially in the area of dating and relationships, is one of the most valuable things that you can do. This boot camp is not just about improving your dating skills. It's about building confidence, enhancing your social interactions, and creating meaningful connections. Okay. By investing in this program, you are taking a significant step towards a more fulfilling and successful personal life. And remember, the quality of your relationships impacts every aspect of your life. And this bootcamp will equip you with the tools to excel in this crucial area. And as well, there's a nice picture of me looking pretty ripped there. Let's leave that on screen for a bit. And of course, another thing to say is that this is not, let's take me off. Let's just have this nice picture of me. Oh, it's saying my audio is removed. The dating stuff also helps you in other areas of your life. Okay. So you practice the dating stuff, you get good with women. Okay, great. But it also means that you're a better communicator generally. Okay. I started to get better in work situations. I started to get better in meetings. I started to get better doing presentations and so on and so forth. So, an investment of this kind, we're talking £1,897 for 3 very intense days, we think is very, very reasonably priced. And as I say, it's me, I've got 10 years of actual teaching experience and then 20 plus years out there in the trenches doing this stuff, okay, learning all of this stuff, making all the fuck up so you don't have to. We've also got other trainers involved, including a good friend of mine who's worked in the industry for over 20 years, who's worked with Kezia Noble, who's worked with James Tusk, who's worked with Paul Janka, amongst others, okay? And we've got other very, very highly respected, handpicked trainers as well. Okay, this is about going out and meeting women in real life and us feeding back to you, but it's also about us telling you where you're going wrong, not sugarcoating it, and course correcting. Okay, so it's, in our view, it's a bargain. It's not a huge amount of money, and it is something that could be life-changing. Okay. And I genuinely mean that. Remember the quote that I told you, the guy on the boot camp we ran recently in Colombia, he said, I literally felt like I died and been reborn. Okay. This stuff can change your life. Okay. And I don't say that lightly. We had a couple of frequently asked questions here that might be useful. So, does it matter if I'm too old or too young? No, age is not a concern. As long as you're over 18, that's fine. This is important. Can I pay a deposit and pay the rest later? Yes, you can. And if there's some kind of payment plan you want to discuss, or even if you want to pay in crypto or something like that, then that's also something we can talk about. So again, email me, Troy Francis, 7laws@gmail.com, and we can get into that. But if you want to divide up the payments, we can talk about that. You could certainly pay a deposit now to reserve your space, and then we can hold the space for you. That's no problem at all. I might be a bigger challenge than you expect. Can you help me? Yes. I've taught all kinds of different people with all kinds of different issues, and we've managed to improve their position significantly. So don't worry about that. Can I bring a friend? Yes. We will do a discount. If you have a friend that you'd like to bring along, we can discuss a discount. So once again, email me or DM me and we'll discuss that. I'm already good with women, but I want to become better. Is that possible? Yes. As I said, really, this is sort of advanced intermediate. So the idea is that we're helping you to get to that next stage. So no problem with that at all. I've heard you help men with more than just seduction. Can I focus the course more on building my confidence social skills? Yes, absolutely. Okay. You can take this in any direction you want, right? We are not saying come to London and, you've got to engage in some kind of degenerate, behavior with some random women. It's not about that. Okay. It's about practicing the skill set, and you can do with that what you want. You can have nice conversations with women. You can practice the skills. You don't need to do anything more than that. And you can, and also as well, we'll be going to some night spots so you can practice socializing with some of the other dudes there, maybe some high value guys if we go to some high value clubs, all of that stuff. Okay. So if your focus is, yes, I like the idea of getting good with women, but I also want to improve this other stuff, then we're 100% on board for you with that as well. So no problem. What is the price? We've already said £1,897. Okay. So let me just put that there. I should have written is the cost. The cost for 3 days is 1,897. We can offer payments, plans, etc. Okay. Now, just to put this into context, Tusk, and listen, great friend of mine, colleague of mine, bros for life, hopefully. Well, as long as we both live anyway. Lol. But he's charging he's charging more like $5,000 for a 4-day boot camp now. So we think this is very reasonably priced. It is a somewhat shorter experience, but that is also a good thing because it means you don't have to take out loads and loads of time from your working week. But what you're also getting is the theoretical side. Okay. So you're also getting some classroom sit down stuff as well, which I think is very valuable. And I think sometimes we neglect a little bit on some of our other projects. Okay. So that's the price. As I say, if you want to pay in crypto, that's possible. Let me know. All you need to do basically is DM me on X or Insta, or email Troy Francis 7 Laws. I just read something else. 7laws@gmail.com. Okay, so DM me. Basically, if you're interested, right, DM me. We'll talk about that in a minute. The cost of 3 days is 1,897. Okay. DM me on X or Insta. Include your WhatsApp details, and we can get on the phone and have a talk about it. I can give you some more information. I would also recommend, by the way, going to that website and having a look, and then maybe downloading the PDF as well. And you can also email me, Troy Francis 7 laws@gmail. That should be gmail.com. Okay. So yeah, get in touch and look, if you've got any questions, any comments, anything that you want to talk about, any sort of concerns or anything, just let me know, man, and we can talk about it. There's no problem at all. We've got a few weeks left yet. There are spaces available. This is going to be a banger, for sure. As I say, I'm going to be fronting this, but we do have some other extremely experienced people who've worked in the industry for a very long time, who know London like the back of their hand, who are going to be helping out with this. And our aim, and I'm not just capping here, I'm not just saying this to try and butter you up. We want every one of you to be successful in this. Okay. So what success means for each person is different. Okay. So what we're not saying, right, every person who comes, they're going to sleep with a Victoria's Secret model, right? It's not that. But every person that comes, we want you to be better, and you will be better at the end of it than when you came. Okay. Because we have the experience and we have the knowledge and we have the insight to know how to take you from here to here. Okay. For some people, the climb is going to be trickier than for others. That's just the way it is. Life is not always fair. Okay. But we're here to help. We're here to support you. All right. And we will, and once we take you on as a client, and I say this to all clients, once we take you on as a client, we are in your fucking corner. Okay. We are there for you. Okay. Obviously, you'll get WhatsApp support. You can message us at any point. You can ask questions. We'll help you out. Anything that you need. it's going to be done for you. Okay. What is the best place to stay in London for this course? To be honest, I mean, anywhere as central as possible, really. Central obviously gets more expensive as long as you're somewhere on the tube network, the London Underground network, or even the train network. Then you'll be fine as long as you have relatively easy access into central London. You'll be fine. Okay, so there are going to be cheaper places further out, but again, email me. I can give you some advice on that. You know, you can even stay somewhere out towards southeast London, you know, relatively inexpensive. It's only going to take you half an hour to get in, no problem at all. Okay. Are you and Tusk not working together anymore? No, we are working together, and in fact, we're meeting tomorrow, and we are recording a load of content, and we have another event which is coming up very soon, and that is going to be in a foreign country. So you'll learn more about that very soon. Okay, so no, we are working together. But this is just a separate thing. Tusk's 4-day course includes a finger banging tutorial. Indeed, and he's not actually lying about that either. But I'm afraid, as an English gentleman, that's not something that I'm offering on this particular course. But listen, I mean, if there's demand, you know, if finger banging is what's going to move the needle on this, then you know, we can certainly consider it for next time. All right, guys. Well, look, if you've got any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, as I say, I would encourage you, have a look at the website, which is here. Have a look at the website, which is here. Which is, oh, for fuck's sake. Have a look at the website. Okay. Download the PDF, which will give you basically the information we've gone through in this video, but you can read it for yourself. And get in touch with me. Okay. So as I say, you could DM me on Twitter, which is now X, or you can DM me on Instagram. On both of those, my handle is @RealTroyFrancis. Or you can email me, troyfrancis7laws@gmail.com. And just write bootcamp in the subject line or whatever. And if you can, include your WhatsApp details, okay? Because that way we can get on a quick call and we can have a chat about it, and we can talk about logistics and so on and so forth, okay? And again, if price is a concern, if you're looking at some kind of, you know, payment plan, there's some sort of arrangement you want to make, we're open to discussing that. So that's not a problem. Happy to have that conversation as well. I think that is probably everything. But we do, so I'm going to be doing a few more of these live streams as we sort of come up to this event. Not necessarily as salesy as this. We can talk about more general issues. So if there are issues that you want to talk about in regard to dating, put them in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel also, and do give the video a like on your way out. We've got over 100 people here now, so please do everybody just like the video on your way out. That will really help me out. I'm very appreciative. But yeah, drop me an email to talk about the event itself. And yeah, so we'll be doing some more live streams, talk about different aspects of dating. Obviously, I'm putting out my videos and things daily anyway. I'm very active, obviously, on YouTube, Instagram. I'm putting out a video most days now, and I'm really stepping up on X as well. I'm fairly bullish on X because I think since Elon's taken over, it's somewhat improved. Although you get a lot of very annoying people on there, but it's kind of, I quite like it as a platform. So those are my key platforms. I'm starting a Substack as well, but we'll talk about that another time because it's not quite right. I haven't really started it yet, so that's another thing. And beyond that, beyond the London Bootcamp, there will be some more exciting projects coming up in the latter part of the year. Okay, but I'm not going to overload you for now. All right, so for the moment, the focus is on London. Last weekend of July. Be there or be square. It's a good price. We've got some fucking great trainers. We're going to be going to some great places. You're going to learn a ton, and it's going to change your life. Seriously. Okay. That's what more can I say? It's going to be fucking awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching this on the replay. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.